The word equilibrium can be seen in many topics such as economics, art, chemistry, biology, and of course in physics. The root word of the word equilibrium, it's kind of hard to read that. Come on, all these fonts are bad. Come on, wingdings. There we go. Equilibrium. We can read it now. The root word of equilibrium is the word equal, where things are going to be the same, and we could also use the word balanced. And in physics, when we're talking about this, we're going to be talking about balanced forces. So let's take a closer look at equilibrium questions in physics. Drones are becoming increasingly popular and increasingly capable, where even the most entry-level drones are able to steady themselves regardless of the environment to keep a consistent shot, which is basically to maintain equilibrium or consistent position. So for our first example, let's take a look at how a drone can achieve equilibrium. So I launch it off my hand here, and pretty quickly it goes into a hover mode, which is a state of equilibrium. So the forces are balanced. What forces are going on? Well, it's not very heavy, but it's 135 grams, so gravity is going to be trying to accelerate it towards the ground. So what the drone has to do is it has to apply force upwards to equal that force and cancel that out. So the net force is 0, and everything's going to be balanced. How much force does it have to apply upwards? Well, the force of gravity is just calculated with mass times gravity, as we saw from the last lesson. So we'll just take the 0.135, because it has to be in kilograms for mass, times 9.81, we get negative 1.32 newtons. I'm going to call that negative because I like calling down negative and up positive. So what's our force up have to be? A positive 1.32 newtons. This would be considered in a state of equilibrium. A positive 1.32 and a negative 1.32 are balanced, and they add up to become 0. And that's what it means to be in a state of equilibrium. So just put the definition here. There's going to be no acceleration because when the forces are balanced, there's going to be no force overall. The force to the left is equal to the force right. The force down is equal to the force up. And everything's going to be balanced to cancel out to 0. If there's no net force, there's going to be no acceleration. So anytime there's no acceleration going on, even if it's moving, if it's going at a constant velocity and it's not accelerating, any situation with no acceleration can be considered equilibrium. And we can make F net equal to 0, which is really going to help us out in the equations. Let's take a look at some more scenarios. So even though this is kind of an easy scenario, let's introduce how you would approach this with formulas. If you have an example of just the drone kind of hovering there. Where are you going to start? Well, we said in the last lesson, and basically all of chapter 3, you're going to start with a free body diagram. So what forces are going on? Force of gravity, force applied going upwards. Once we have our free body diagram and all the forces going on, we're going to write our formula for F net is equal to a sum of those forces added up together. In this case, we're only dealing with y up and down, so I don't need to worry about any x component. I'm just going to look at the up and down forces. F net is equal to Fg plus Fa. Okay, what we can do from here, because it's an equilibrium, F net, we just said equilibrium, there's no acceleration. F net is going to be equal to 0. That's the really nice part about these examples. I know this is going to be equal to 0. So then if I was maybe trying to solve for what's the applied force, I just need to figure out the gravitational force. And they should be equal to each other. They should be balanced. So we said that that was negative 1.32. So the force up 1.32. So hopefully you got a sense from the picture, but now also a sense from how we'd write it in a formula. Now that was a pretty easy situation for the drone to handle, just hovering. And you can see this picture with the crosshairs that it's pretty much exactly level, so that its force is going to be directly up for the gravity that's going directly down. But I thought let's challenge the drone a little bit by introducing a fan. So you can see here I'm going to hold the fan up to it. It's going to push it to the side, and the drone's going to have to react to try and maintain its position in that state of equilibrium. If we freeze frame it right there, we can see that the drone is flying no longer flat, but at a little bit of an angle. So that when it's applying that force upward, that force applied, it's going a little bit like this, and it's not directly up in the air. It's going off at an angle. Why is it doing that? Well, let's look at the other forces. We have this Fg that we had as before, but now we introduced a new force. I could put force applied by the wind, but I don't want to get the A's mixed up. Let's call this Fw for the force of the wind. So force of the wind pushing this way, we're pushing up at an angle, and gravity's pushing down. How can we make sense of all these arrows? There's a lot going on here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to first consider maybe not the drone's force, but let's consider the other two. If the drone wasn't applying any force, it would fall down due to gravity and would get pushed to the side from the wind. So what the drone has to do is has to cancel both of those, balance both of those forces to go into a state of equilibrium. So to cancel out gravity, it's going to have to match the force of gravity, turn it around, and apply that force upwards. That's going to cancel out gravity. Now it's got to cancel out the wind, so it has to match the force of the wind, turn it around and apply it the other direction so that it cancels out that section of the wind. So now if we take a pen here, this and this are going to be canceled, and this is going to be canceled, and it should stay in the same position as well. Let's take a look at how we would handle this with some numbers. Okay, so you could get a question like this that says a 135 gram drone reaches equilibrium at a state of 30 degrees. I don't think mine was quite tilted 30 degrees, but let's call it 30 degrees. What is the force of the wind? It doesn't seem like it gave us too much information here. Let's see what we can do. You might be wondering, where do we start? Same as before, we're going to start with our free body diagram. So we're going to draw the three forces: force applied, force gravity, force wind. We've got all our forces, so we're not going to miss anything. Next, we're going to draw our formula for F net is the sum of the forces. Now, it's common here that students say, okay, F net is equal to FA plus FW plus FG. That actually doesn't work in this case. Because remember, back in the last lesson with multiple forces, we said we have to look at the X and the Y separately. If this was all in the Y, like we had in the last example, it'd be fine. But we have some stuff going on in the X, like the force of the wind, and the Y, the force of gravity, and FA, it's kind of in both. It's going in the X and going in the Y. So what we're going to have to do is we have to look at them separately. And the first step is going to be breaking FA into its X and Y components. In this chapter, and honestly the whole course, if you ever see an angled vector, break it into its components to see how much is going up and down and side to side, its X and Y components. Okay, I don't have any numbers for that, but that's going to help me for putting our formulas together. So where should I start? Should I start in X or Y? Well, reading the question, it says, what is the force of the wind? So if I'm looking for this one, I would start with the plane that that's in. And wind looks like it's going in X. So let's look at all the forces in X. Okay, in X, F net is the sum of what forces? The wind, good, we put that one in. And then part of the applied force, FAX is what I put. It's the X component of the force applied by the drone. Okay, so the drone is pushing in X and the wind is pushing in X. Okay, so what can we know? What can we fill in? Well, the nice part, again, if it's an equilibrium, F net is equal to 0. I know that one, but I don't really know anything else. There's not a whole lot else we can do there. But this at least shows that if I want to figure out the wind, all I got to do is figure out this X component. It says I can figure this out. And fortunately, if it's in equilibrium, this up arrow is equal to this down arrow. How much the drone's lifting up has to be equal to how much gravity is pulling down. So basically it's saying this is the same as gravity. If I can figure out gravity, I put that one in here, and we're going to be able to use some trig to solve this. And that is the solution to the problem. Let's just show it with some formulas, though. To go into Y, I'd say what's happening in Y is these two up and down arrows. The Y component of the force applied by the drone, gravity, and what's the overall net force? Once again, 0. That's the nice part of equilibrium. And net force is 0. So how do you find the force of gravity? We actually solved from this before based off its 135 gram mass. Because it's tilted, it didn't become any more massive. We can use that same number, negative 1.32. So throw in 1.32 and the force upwards in Y has to be 1.3t, so 1.32. So let's plug that in there. It's going up here at 1.32. I know my lines are getting a bit messy. Let's just clear it up a bit. There we go. And now that I have this value at 30 degrees, I can solve for this missing part of the triangle. So we're going to have to use some trigonometry. It looks like I'm looking for the opposite side. I have my adjacent, so we're going to use tan. And tan 30 is equal to x, my unknown here, over 1.32. So we're just going to multiply the 1.32 times tan 30, and we're going to get a value of 0.76, which also makes sense. We kind of check, does that make sense for a number? This is the much bigger side, 1.32. This smaller side should be less than 1.32. Excellent. We're basically at the end now because now I know this number is the 0.76 0.76. I called it negative because I like calling left negative and right positive just to keep track of direction. And so that means the wind should be a positive number, and it should be 0.76. And that would be our final answer to this question. It seems a little bit complicated looking at all this work that we did now, but the same processes that we had from before. Free body diagram, look at X and Y, F-nets of some of the forces, and you're going to get there. Let's try one more example in this video. A common scenario when we deal with equilibrium is hanging signs. The sign is hanging there, it's not accelerating, so it's in a state of equilibrium. And this one says, if the sign has 12 kilograms of mass, what is the tension in the ropes? Okay, what's the tension in this one? What's the tension in this one? Let's see what they are. Where to begin? Free body diagram. Gravity's going to be pulling it down, and then we have two ropes now, so we're going to have tension coming this way, tension going that way as well, and that's going to be all the forces on our sign. So how are we going to put these together? Well, again, we know we need to consider X and Y separately, and the tension is pulling in X and in Y. So what we're going to do, break those into its components. Break this one its components, break that one into its components. And it's at this point to me that the fundamental concept kind of exposes itself here. When I look in X, the only two forces in X are here, pulling to the side by this rope and pulling to the side by this rope. And it's not accelerating in X. It's not even going anywhere in X. So these two have to be equal to each other. How much they're pulling apart has to be equal. This one's pulling this way, this one's pulling this way. They're the same, so the sign is staying in the same position. So if that side and this side are the same, we also have equal angles, these triangles are exactly the same. They're going to be pulling up with the equal amount of force and equal amount of tension in them. So really, I just need to solve for one of these. I can focus just on this triangle and say that's the tension in the ropes, because it's going to be the same on both of them. Okay, so now I'm like, well, how am I going to figure that out? Well, if I have the 40 degrees, I could solve for the hypotenuse as long as I know one of these sides. I know these X components are the same, but I have nothing to give me information about that. So let's focus on Y. And in Y, there's quite a bit going on. We have the force up of tension from this rope, the force up of tension from this rope, and the force down of gravity. So let's put all three of those together and say that in Y, F net is equal to Fg plus Fty and Fty. It looks like a lot, there's three forces there, but fortunately we said these are the same triangles. The value here should be the same as the value here, meaning that this force and this force up there are the same thing. So Fty plus Fty, I can just call that 2 Ftys. It seems a little bit complex in the formula, but let's just think of it simply. What if the force of gravity was negative 20? How much would each rope be pulling up with? Well, it'd be 10 and 10. Because they're pulling up with the same amount to cancel out that 20. That's the big concept of what's going on here. Take the gravity, divide it by 2, and that's what we have to pull up with. So again, let's clear that off and see what our numbers actually are. Find the real force of gravity. We'll take 12 kilograms times 9.81 and get negative 118. And I'm going to call down negative. So that means overall we need to lift up with 118. So let's put that in the formula here. Negative 118. So the overall force up from tension should be 118. But I'm going to divide by 2 because it's split between the two ropes. So that the amount of tension pulling up in each rope should just be the 59s that we see here. The reason why we wanted to do that is now that we have the 40 degrees and we have a side, I can solve for that unknown hypotenuse. So kind of a similar setup to the previous question with a little bit of trig and some balancing out of some forces. Let's finish this one off. So what are we going to use for trig here? We have our opposite in 59, trying to solve for a hypotenuse. So we're going to use sine. Sine 40 degrees is equal to my opposite, 59, over x, which is my hypotenuse. Now, I do want to start this moment because we're used to breaking into components, it's very common for students to just go sine 40 times 59 and get an answer. But looking at the formula, that's not how we solve for x. X is in the denominator. So to get x by itself, we're going to have to multiply it up to this side, and then we're going to divide sine 40 down to the other side. So this becomes 59 divided by sine 40. It's a kind of simple rearrangement, but it's often overlooked. So make sure you don't forget that step. And when we plug in, we get our final answer of 92 newtons for the tension in this rope. And that's the same as the tension in this rope. And that's all we have for this video. So I hope that helped you out with equilibrium questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.